Hello, my name is Kainoa, and today I will be discussing Twitch as a new media platform and how Twitch enhances the participation and network awareness literacies of Rheingold's media literacies. And we will explore examples such as Twitch for gaming, other than gaming, uses during the 2020 pandemic, social activism, and some implications of streaming. And before we begin, I'd like to briefly explain exactly what Rheingold's media literacies are. Rheingold's media literacies are thought to empower our consumption of new media, which is basically media we consume through the internet. And as we see in the image, there are 5 media literacies, critical consumption being both first and last, displaying its importance, and then attention, participation, collaboration, and network awareness. Put briefly, participation has to do with our interactions. Network awareness is understanding the virtual and often global communities we are a part of, helping us understand exactly who we are actually talking to. And with that out of the way, Twitch is an online platform used to broadcast live streaming to an audience base of 150 million unique daily viewers and around 140 million monthly users. Most people think of Twitch as a platform for gamers to broadcast themselves playing games, and it is, but it also has some other unique functions, such as Twitch being an active tool for protests during the Black Lives Matter protests. And Twitch is a large majority a gamer audience, and it's important to look a little further into the demographic of gamers. To understand the network that Twitch actually facilitates. And I'll show some information from these infographics here, and you can pause if you want. But the most important thing I want to talk about is the fact that 52% of gamers are actually college educated and 56% have hobbies outside of gaming. And it's important to know these are American statistics, but I can imagine Canada and other nations having similar correlations. I can imagine Twitch streamers might have some form of influence on such a large global network of gamers. And gaming is a hobby, and so are other activities on Twitch, such as learning instruments, art, and talk shows, and live music performances, all of which have a place on Twitch. There's also a just chatting section, which is currently the most popular topic on Twitch, which has double the viewership than any other category right now. And I'll link some other data in the description below about these statistics. But simply put, this might show a movement from not just a gaming audience, but to much more than that. And the point here is that Twitch facilitates a real-time participation, whether you're a gamer or not. And gone are the days of watching cable TV where messages could only have a one-to-many form of communication. But today, audiences can interact with a broadcaster and have real-time conversations. People don't have to passively watch their media, but they can actively participate in what's going on. And it also keeps people accountable. The messages and the opinions that they have are being recorded and can be freely shared on the internet and onto social media platforms. Twitch supports the participation literacy as the audience can have actual conversations with their broadcaster, challenging their opinions and learning a little more about what the streamers have said or what they've meant. And streamers might be broadcasting to others, but oftentimes streamers can actually learn from their audiences. And from what we know about the demographic of gamers, at least half are professionally educated, and most have hobbies outside of gaming, which means that if streamers ask their audiences a question, there's a high probability that at least one person will know the answer, and oftentimes that they might actually be an expert. And for this reason, Twitch supports the network awareness literacy by not only allowing streamers to answer questions of their audience, but also the audience can answer questions they have for the streamer. And further then, a streamer can aggregate what they have learned and share new information back to another audience in the future. During the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, Twitch has had quite an increase in viewer numbers. Many gyms have closed, so many instructors have taken to teaching yoga classes on platforms such as Twitch, and live music performances have been canceled. But live streaming has become a fast and easy solution for many artists and teachers. And for example, this Willie Nelson's annual music festival was canceled in 2020, and many of the musicians still broadcasted their sets from their homes, as we can see here. And having conversations with each other afterwards. And even recently, a hip-hop artist named Logic had recently signed a deal with Twitch in the sum of at least $1 million. So Twitch supports the network awareness literacy again by supporting or facilitating a network of artists globally without any resistance from national borders or a looming global pandemic. And again, social activism and new media have always had a strong relationship, going back to 2012, for example, with the Canadian student protests that occurred. And I'll have more information in the description below if you want to learn more. But the point I want to make is that live streaming at that time was cumbersome, as live streamers needed large equipment. But today, live streaming of social activism has evolved, and people can record straight from their smartphones. And during the Black Lives Matter protests of current months, many journalists and protesters have taken to use Twitch to tell their stories and share their perspectives. Some Twitch users feel a responsibility to stream and give a voice to the voiceless. And as Dr. Elise Thorburn, a digital media technology and activism researcher, found, and I quote, live streaming gave viewers insight into the motivations, ideas, analysis, and politics of the strikers and demonstrators. Live streaming has become a voice for young people who are often depicted as degenerates in mainstream media. And the Black Lives Matter live streamers can show what's actually happening around them during the protests and document what's happening when there's no witnesses, supporting the network awareness literacy. And just one quick implication of streaming, streamers are often leaders in their communities, which brings up implications about the spread of negative messages in their network. Some streamers might sound neurotic when they're speaking on their channel, which might pose concerns with peers and youth who are listening, and might share and spread those negative messages through their communities and further on to social networks. If taken seriously, Twitch has analytics tools for streamers to use to better understand their networks and their audience to combat negative messages if they'd like. But more research should be conducted into the transfer of negative messages through these networks. And this is an example of why live streamers should be aware of their network and take care when spreading influence through their network. And only then can the network awareness literacy actually be enhanced. That's basically it. But Twitch channels can facilitate virtual communities of people watching their favorite streamers. And the communities that develop on channels can hold either a few people with more one-on-one sort of connections and conversations, or massive audiences of thousands. But once again, Twitch can actively support participation in network awareness literacies. And I'm sure Twitch will continue to do so as it grows in the future. And that is my video, and thanks for watching.